How my ex turned me into a girl after our breakup. Ryan was an ordinary guy in his late 20s, living a life that looked fine on the surface, but felt painfully stagnant beneath. He had a stable job, a solid group of friends, and a predictable routine, but none of it seemed to fill the void left by his recent breakup with Mia, his girlfriend of 3 years. Their split wasn't dramatic, no screaming matches or tearful accusations, just the quiet, bittersweet fading of something that once felt unshakable. While Ryan told himself that being single again was liberating, he often found himself missing the warmth of Mia's laugh, her impulsive plans, and the ease of being understood by someone who knew him so well. One dreary Saturday, his phone buzzed with a message from Mia. "Hey, want to come over? I'm cleaning out my closet and could use some company." No pressure. Ryan stared at the screen, unsure. They'd agreed to stay friends, but the unspoken tension between them still lingered. Yet, the thought of another rainy day spent alone in his apartment was even less appealing. "Sure, I'll be there in 20, he replied, grabbing his jacket. When Ryan arrived, Mia's apartment looked like a war zone of fabric. Piles of clothes, shoes, and accessories were scattered across every surface. She greeted him with a familiar smile and a quick hug, her warmth offset by a subtle awkwardness that mirrored his own. For the next hour, they fell into an easy rhythm, catching up as Mia sorted through her wardrobe. She held up each piece, debating whether to keep or donate it, while Ryan offered half-hearted opinions between sips of coffee. The banter felt natural, like old times, but a subtle undercurrent of something unsaid hung between them. Then, Mia pulled out a dress, a bold, sparkly red number that seemed completely out of place among her usual understated style. She held it up, laughing. "Remember this?" she asked, glancing at him with a mischievous grin. "I bought it for that New Year's party we never made it to." Ryan chuckled. "You were convinced it was going to be the highlight of the year?" Mia's eyes lit up with an idea. "You know what? You should try it on." He blinked. "Me? In that? Not happening." "Why not?" "It'll be hilarious," she teased. "Think of it as payback for all those times you mocked my outfits." Her playful challenge hung in the air. Ryan hesitated, caught between reluctance and curiosity. Maybe it was nostalgia, maybe it was the rainy day gloom, or maybe it was just the spark in Mia's eyes, but he found himself shrugging. "All right, why not?" Mia hooped with laughter, tossing him the dress. "Bathrooms that way. Fashion icon." Alone in the bathroom, Ryan stared at the shimmering fabric in his hands. The absurdity of the situation made him grin. As he slipped the dress over his head, he was surprised by how well it fit, hugging his frame in ways he hadn't expected. He caught his reflection in the mirror and paused. For the first time in a long time, he didn't feel stuck, he felt different. Free. When he emerged, Mia's laughter filled the room, but it wasn't mocking, it was joyous and genuine. "Ryan, you actually look good," she said, her tone shifting to something softer. He struck a mock model pose. "I always knew I had a hidden talent for this." Their laughter dissolved the tension, and they fell into deeper conversation. What started as a joke opened the floodgates to memories, regrets, and truths they hadn't shared before. Ryan admitted how often he felt trapped by the weight of expectations. Mia confessed her own struggles with always having to appear carefree and fun. Over the following weeks, Ryan found himself returning to Mia's apartment more often. What began as a one-time prank turned into a ritual. They experimented with clothes, makeup, and even wigs. Mia taught him how to walk in heels, and they took endless selfies, laughing until their cheeks hurt. For Ryan, it was more than play. It was a discovery of something he hadn't known he was missing. One afternoon, Mia placed a long chestnut wig on his head, adjusting it carefully. When Ryan looked in the mirror, he barely recognized himself. The reflection wasn't just a man in a dress. It was someone new, someone who felt alive in a way he hadn't in years. "Wow," Mia whispered, standing behind him. "You look beautiful." Ryan's breath caught. "Do I?" She nodded, her voice soft. "You really do?" The experiments began to evolve. Mia suggested a spa day, and Ryan nervously agreed to a full-body wax and skincare treatments. Then came manicures and pedicures, his nails painted a delicate pink. With each step, Ryan felt himself letting go of the rigid persona he had clung to for so long. Eventually, Mia introduced him to a stylist who specialized in gender expression transformations. What was meant to be a casual consultation turned into something bigger. The stylist explained hormone blockers as an option for exploring a more feminine identity, and to his own surprise, Ryan agreed to try. Piece by piece, Ryan's old life fell away, replaced by a version of himself that felt truer, lighter, and free. It wasn't just a change in appearance, it was a transformation of the soul, guided by the person who knew him best. Months passed, and Ryan's journey of self-discovery began to take shape in ways he never imagined. His body subtly shifted, softer contours, smoother skin, and a gentle curve at his hips that he couldn't help but admire in the mirror. The changes felt less like an imposition and more like an unveiling, as though layers of expectation and pretense were being peeled away to reveal someone he had long kept hidden. Through it all, Mia was his constant, his guide, his cheerleader, and his partner in this unexpected transformation. Their evenings together became a blend of laughter and learning. Mia taught Ryan, now Riley, the secrets of walking confidently in heels, the art of blending eyeshadow, and the importance of finding the right shade of lipstick. Each lesson wasn't just about outward appearances, it was about Riley embracing a freedom he had never allowed himself to feel. One evening, Mia handed Riley a delicate blue dress, soft, flowing, and undeniably beautiful. "This one's perfect for you," she said, her tone thoughtful. Riley slipped it on, marveling at how it seemed to fit not just his body, but his spirit. It became his favorite, a symbol of the person he was becoming. Their relationship, too, evolved into something new. It wasn't about rekindling the romance they had shared. It was about creating a bond rooted in honesty and mutual growth. Together, they explored not just Riley's emerging identity, but their own vulnerabilities, weaving a connection stronger than either had expected. One quiet evening, as they sat together on Mia's balcony, the city's glow stretched out before them. Riley leaned back in his chair, his long, natural hair cascading over his shoulders. The air was filled with the scent of jasmine, and the faint hum of traffic served as a soothing backdrop. He glanced at Mia, who was seated beside him, her hand resting lightly on his. "I never thought I'd feel this whole," Riley said, his voice carrying a mix of wonder and gratitude. "Like, for the first time, I'm not pretending. I'm just me." Mia turned to him, her eyes soft and filled with pride. "You've always been you, Riley. It just took some time for the world, and maybe even you, to catch up." Riley smiled, a warmth spreading through him that had nothing to do with the evening breeze. He looked down at their intertwined fingers and gave a light squeeze. "You've been my compass through all this. I don't know if I'd have found this side of me without you." Mia chuckled softly, resting her head on his shoulder. "And I wouldn't have seen just how brave you are if you hadn't let me in." The city lights sparkled like scattered diamonds, and the two of them sat in a comfortable silence, letting the moment speak for itself. Riley felt a sense of belonging, not just to the world around him, but to himself. The labels and roles they once clung to had faded into irrelevance. What mattered now was the connection they shared and the freedom Riley had found in embracing his true self. As the stars began to peek through the urban glow, Riley spoke softly, almost to himself. "It's strange. I always thought transformation meant becoming someone new. But it feels more like I'm uncovering who I've always been." Mia smiled against his shoulder, her voice barely above a whisper. "And that person is beautiful." In that serene moment under the starlit sky, Riley understood that life's most profound changes often come not from seeking something outside ourselves, but from daring to face what's been within us all along. With Mia by his side, he was ready to step fully into the light, no longer hiding, no longer hesitant, but boldly, beautifully, unapologetically himself.